Welcome to Stick to Rugby, brought to you by Defender. Now, as well as World Cup winner Phil Vickery in the back seat. Phil, welcome again. We got another one, boring. Who's on the show? It's not boring at all. It's just Scott and I feel left out.
That's because you haven't got a medal, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have somebody I played alongside. She keeps trying to spread this rumour that I didn't tackle and she used to make all my tackles. But it is Maggie Alphonsi, also known as the Machine.
She's oh, what a nickname. I'd love that.
Yeah, you're not going to get that.
No.
But retired in 2014 after we won the World Cup and got our winners' medal. Is probably the first woman to really get into broadcasting, especially in the men's game, and a really recognisable face.
I got to stick up for you here, Shanks. When they said you're not going to be called a machine, I think it could be, like an old tumble dryer.
I'll do the jokes, mate. Oh, great, she's on, because Women's World Cup going on.
Yeah.
See you and her on the TV, and Ruby Tui just constantly at the moment.
That's right.
It's good. It's good. Really enjoying it.
Have you thought about a bit of red in the hair?
Who, me? No, I just trying to get rid of the grey.
Join the club.
I was going to say, good luck. If you find out what it is, let me know.
Just for men.
Do you have that problem?
I have got grey hair, yeah. If I grow
Do you?
it. Yeah.
You don't want to see it?
Big time.
Except for his armpits. He's got grey armpits.
The only problem is, if I grew it, I'd look like Andy Good, you know, before he had the hair transplant. They are the best photos of a before and after hair transplant I think you'll ever see.
Right, do you guys ever as boys be like, look mate, it's time to
Oh yeah.
get it off?
No, my daughter says, Scott, why don't you go, or she doesn't say Scott, she says, Dad, why don't you go and get your hair done?
Does she?
Yeah, all the time.
You don't need to get your hair done, do you?
Well, from there back, I've got to thin it out. From there to the front, I'm like, please.
Don't go.
To be honest, so cute. You've had that for ages, haven't you?
Since I came out, I was born with a with this. What do they call it? A receding hairline.
Yeah, you've had that for ages. You've done really well to hang on to it, to be fair.
So you've always been bold, Shanks, haven't you?
Well, yeah, not always. So I did have hair.
Ginger then?
Strawberry blonde.
Oh,
That's strawberry blonde.
Yeah, but I got rid of it early though. You know, so, something you got to bite the bullet. And then all you do then, when you've got no hair, is you just hammer the ones that are losing it. take loads of photos. The amount of photos I got on my phone of Jamie Roberts is incredible. He's got a head like a dog's favourite tennis ball. That's how I describe it.
Hasn't he had his hair done though?
Yeah, which is even worse. Oh, it's incredible. Like, I'll be doing commentary. I'll be doing commentary in the Principality Stadium, and you're up high. You're on level 5 when you do it. Jamie's pitch side, and there I am, my phone out, just taking photos of him, putting it on the lads group. Guess who this is? But that's the environment you're in, though, isn't it?
It's so true.
Any weakness,
You're in.
yeah, don't join a rugby club.
Someone's like, here's a ball, run with it. There's a person, tackle them, and just go and be free.
2011, I think we're the first woman to receive the Pat Marshall Award.
I was, yeah, beating the likes of Richie McCaw.
The way Maggie played, like you were ahead of your time in the era we played.
I remember just coming in, clearing someone out, and the referee was like, you're too strong. You are just too strong. My first cap was out inside centre.
Yeah,
so Katie doesn't realise that I can pass, but she keeps saying, no, I never pass.
She just chose not to.
I got to give her a piece of advice right from the start, and they said, if you're going to say something, if you wouldn't say that comment to their mum, don't say it.
You've set such a good example for those to follow, and I don't think we can underestimate what you did.
I just feel quite privileged to be in that position.
But that's the magic of what we've done, isn't it? The power of being able to influence somebody, however small that might be, that is just magical.
Georgie, our producer, has brought in some homemade cakes, as you can tell.
Delicious.
Off air, Katie said they were a bit dry. I thought they were actually delicious.
She did.
And it's
I did not say
it's always a bit difficult when you cook stuff and bring it in, especially with a trained chef and baker who's probably got a little sourdough starter in his pocket. He loves sourdough. I don't think
that's in his pocket.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Something else.
Can I just ask, what have we put in the coffee today?
A lot of caffeine. We've got another amazing guest. We've got World Cup winner Maggie Alphonsi with us. Welcome to Stick to Rugby.
It's an honour to be here.
And there's absolutely loads going on with rugby at the moment, and we're going to hear a lot about what you've done with your life and your career as well. But before that, we like to start, and we like to sort of warm you up a little bit with a little quiz, which I'm not actually doing this week. I did it last week. I've been banned.
Have
Scott,
you?
yeah.
See, I lasted 16 episodes of quizzing. You got 1.
Yeah, but you were so good. You just get them out
I'm
quick.
not
don't you?
He's no Bradley Walsh.
Surprised
No.
at all.
No, so
Yeah, you know Bradley Walsh.
What's Bradley's son called?
Junior. Shut up, Junior. Right.
Yes.
Maggie,
Come on.
the rules are,
Yeah.
I've never done this before,
Okay.
so I genuinely don't know. You are a World Cup winner. We've got 3 World Cup winners in year. We're going to play a little game of hero or zero. I'm going to give you a statement. If you agree, it is hero. If you disagree, it is...
0.
Oh, see, it's so easy. It's so easy. Right, the first one. Honestly, this is like Prime Minister question time, because the first one I'm going to grill you.
Okay.
Pineapple on pizza.
0.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
International rugby is bigger than club rugby.
I'm going to say 0. I love my club. Sarries, black and red, all the way through.
Fair enough. There's no right and no wrong, but you're right. Chocolate should always be in the fridge.
Oh, that's a hero. I agree. Yeah,
Do you agree?
Phil?
Chilled.
You're probably the most experienced
Chocolatier.
I'm easy either way.
caterer around here.
As long as it's dark chocolate, I'm all right with it.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Bitter.
Not a bit
oh,
Cadbury's
there's no flavour
milk.
in
There's
that.
nothing better than sitting on a bar of chocolate just on the side there,
Pardon?
just to warm it up. And then you go there, it's nice, it's just melting.
Or leaving it in your car. by
Leaving it in your
mistake,
car
and then
underneath
being
and you
like,
go,
Can I just
oh,
say, it's Maggie's.
Sorry,
Okay.
just saying,
Ours.
just saying. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Karaoke is the best way to finish a night out after a victory.
Oh, yeah, hero.
Oh, what's your song?
I'm a bit of a YMCA because it's easy, words are easy and you get everyone into
That's
it.
the key.
Not when you're dyslexic. Playing in the rain is better than playing in the sun.
Playing in the rain is better than playing in the sun. Oh, I like playing in the sun, so let's go 0.
Who likes playing in the rain?
Me.
Nobody.
Okay, apart from you.
You could dive into the corner and slide in from 20
Slidey weather. Slidey weather.
Come on. Emily Scarrett is the GOAT.
Hero.
Yeah.
Katie would be my goat, but we'll
Thank you, Maggie.
since that's not an option, we'll go
Oh, hang on.
Scans.
We can make it an option.
goat.
So we've got loads of goats. Got loads of goats.
Isn't
Got a
Shanks
flock.
named after a
Is
goat?
it a flock of goats? Is it a flock of goats?
Yeah.
Yeah, flock of goats. Winning the World Cup is the pinnacle of rugby.
I'd say for me it was, so I'm going to say hero, yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't know.
But Katie was your captain.
No.
She was,
Yeah. And what was she like as a
leader.
leader?
She was very good. She told us what to do. You don't answer back. Yes.
I like that.
Katie.
One
I
thing
like
I
that.
would say, like,
Come across
Referees
like
loved
that.
her.
just
Do
being
I?
this one, she was quite
Yeah.
dismissive about you because she said to me that you seem to claim a lot of her work.
It's because usually whenever I'm on TV and they go, captain of the England team, I can't just say to people, that's incorrect, live on air. You know, we're not on air for very long, so I just don't say anything.
See?
Play along with it. Play
Everyone's
along
like,
with it.
you were captain. Let's go with it. I mean, but I do correct them at the end. off air,
Yeah,
with
whatever.
them.
Off air. In the corridor.
Do you have to make a lot of her tackles as well?
I did, yes. She knows this.
Standard.
I come out of
Richard
a
Burford
standard
also texted me to be like, it wasn't Maggie, it was me. Actually, guys, I made my own tackles sometimes.
I'd come out of a scrum, I'd be like, I'd be disorientated, and then Katie would be like, yours.
That's like Big 8 off.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that.
Max, we're going to start right at the beginning. It's going to be like a speed dating version of This Is Your Life.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So obviously, if we go right back to the beginning, growing up, born in Lewisham, South London, you then moved to a council estate in Edmonton, single-parent family, probably not the most traditional rugby background. Like, how did that kind of influence you as growing up?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So, growing up on a council estate, single-parent family, and that sort of like real kind of challenging environment, if I'm honest, I just sort of went along with the crowd. I was a difficult kid. School was a place where I felt like I could really be myself, so I had fun, I enjoyed it, got kicked out of lessons majority of the time. And it was like a
So
typical...
you went to school and enjoyed it, but got kicked out of classes
It's
regularly.
because I
That was
had
the
lots of
enjoyable
people-
bit.
That was the enjoyable bit. I just walked around the corridors. But I found sport That's what was kind of kept me on the straight and narrow. I was a smart kid though. I always say to her, I was a smart kid. I just didn't engage with the school content. And loved sport, did every kind of sport, and I was just very lucky to have some really good PE teachers in particular. And one of them was a Welsh lady, Lisa Burgess, and she pretty much converted me into rugby. I mean, no one liked rugby at my school. Like, I went to a typical school in North London. The lads didn't want to do rugby. They would rather do cross country, if I'm truly honest, running around the field in the rain. So we was not a rugby school. So to have a teacher who was Welsh, who loved rugby, she was like, you just got to give it a go, try it
Did
out.
you have a girls' side in the school?
No, we didn't. No.
So where did she point you towards?
She was playing at Saracens.
Ah,
so
right,
our
okay.
local club was Saracens, but it wasn't local. It was an hour away, Bramley Road.
Yeah.
And so she was like, get on the bus, get down there and try it out. So I went
Bramley
to
Road. That was Saracens' first training ground.
It was, yeah.
You'd have to go on the pitch before and like mark with cones where dogs had been walking and left.
Walking.
Yeah, or running.
Poo.
Yeah,
Poo.
poo,
Yeah,
basically,
poops.
Scott. But what a stadium as well.
Yeah.
I've got so many fun memories of Bramley Road.
Because you would have been when they played at Watford as well, wasn't
Yeah. So that was the first train. They used to play games there, didn't they, originally, Bramley Road?
Yep. I remember.
I played there.
Back in
But
the
Yeah.
day.
also with the second team game.
Do you know what I liked about it as well? Old school like change rooms. You have a bath after, because that's something now that's gone in rugby. Because the stadiums are so new and
Probably a reason for
updated.
that, though,
A
isn't there?
communal bath you could not be.
Oh my goodness.
It's like you come off the pitch and you're like, someone else has already been in the bath, done their thing, and then you get in after, and that was it. That was
Yeah.
Or
was like-
in the old Arms Park,
Yeah.
the bath was the size of this studio. So they started
Everyone,
they started to fill it up before when you kicked off. By the time you came back in,
Yeah.
everybody
Everyone
was
was in there.
everybody was in the bath.
You'd have to shower first though. You'd have to get the mud off you first.
No,
That's typical of backs, a backs thing, isn't it?
No.
Oh, the shower,
Us
all the forwards in there.
We're washing it, we're cleaning each other, us forwards. Especially at Saracens with these like meat curtains.
Oh my God, the meat
So
curtains that you have
you'd go
to walk
through the
through.
meat curtains before you get to your bath, and then you just and the meat
remember
curtains I think
that.
are still there.
Yeah.
What?
Traditional.
You know, like the
Plastic.
overlapping plastic.
Yeah.
Like you're going to butchers.
Yeah, or like,
Yeah.
and you have to,
Yeah.
oh man, I remember them so much.
Love my club. Made me hard.
So
Made
it
me
was
hard.
basically like a car wash.
Yeah.
You wash
well,
yourself and then you go through like
They were awful.
five of them.
It was so grimy. You know, you like try not to let something, like a shower curtain that you don't want to touch your
It was
skin.
one of the-
It was like that. Oh.
There's always an awkward moment there, wasn't it, when the bath's full and someone's trying to get in. And legs start touching and things like, oh, get off me.
That actually, no. Mags, obviously, Lisa Burgess was she your main kind of positive influence, like the one that I suppose changed maybe the curve you were on?
Yeah, she was significant. Look, I had lots of really good teachers at my school, like Miss Walker, Miss Canty, the list goes on, Mr Webber, he was also into rugby. So I had lots of people who had a huge impact, but I think she was very significant because she sort of believed in me regardless of my attitude and my mindset back then, and was like, look, you're really good at sport, maybe take that as your direction to find a way out. So when she said, like, just try the rugby out, I was like, I'll give it a go. Never seen it before at that time. I think at the time, might have been 1995 Rugby World Cup. So it was big back then. And I think the only person I remember was Jonah Lomu. Like, that's what I remember of rugby, and that was my attitude of it. I just thought, this guy, he's huge. It's not really a girls' sport, or women play it. But when I found out my teacher did it, I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a go, you know. Easy. And then when I went to Saracens,
How old
I
were
just
you?
loved it. I was about 13, 14.
Oh wow.
So when I went to the Saracens, I just fell in love with it. It was really good. Lots of different sizes, different shapes, you know, the usual sort of cliche about the sport. And someone was like, here's a ball, run with it. There's a person, tackle them, ideally when they've got the ball, and just go and be free. I played sports like netball and all those other sports, and I felt like I was quite restricted. And there was always a definition between, if you're a girl, this is what you have to throw, or this is what you can do, and if you're a boy, it's what you can do. But when it was rugby, it was like, just go and play, and I loved that.
Because physicality was a part of your game, innit?
That's
Was that whole game?
Oh, totally, totally. So what was that? Because for me, when you cross that whitewash, you could become somebody else, and you know you could hit people legally and everything. Was that a part of it? Was the school maybe a part of the frustration, and you could take that out on the pitch?
Absolutely. So I'll be really honest with you. At school, I was a fighter. I loved to fight, you know, and I used to fight with the boys all the time. I'd play football with the lads. I was the goalkeeper, and but at the same time, all the lads wanted to be my friends.
Yeah.
So I would get into fights quite frequently, and moving into rugby was a perfect sort of combination. It enabled you to be disciplined, to control that aggression, that anger, but put it out in a positive way that celebrated your attributes, your strength, your muscles, your stature.
It must have been quite hard for you, because just observing, I remember watching you play, you played at a different level to any other woman who played the sport at the time. So were you aware of that? Or?
I still remember when I was like, I think it was like an under 16, under 18s game, and the breakdown was there, and I remember just coming in, flying through, clearing someone out, and the referee was like, "You're too strong. You are just too strong." And I was like, "Thank you very much." But it made me realise, like, I was slightly
different,
and I wasn't saying it in a big-headed way, but I was slightly just up with the level of fitness and strength that you needed to have to be a very good rugby player. And also at the time, I remember at school, and maybe it was probably my own sort of attitude as well, I used to go at playtime, go to the gym, because we had a school gym at my school. Even though it was still pretty rough, we still actually were able to have a gym. So I'd go and just train, and I've always been into just being fit and healthy and sort of managing my body and looking after it.
Do you get ridiculed for that from your peers or from friendship groups? Because that's not normal, is it?
No, not at that
Especially
time.
not then as well.
No. I didn't get ridiculed. If anything, I was kind of celebrated. People were like, "Oh, cool, you play rugby, you do pretty well." I mean, my school was very much football orientated. It was Arsenal or Tottenham, and I was an Arsenal fan. Any Arsenal fans?
No.
No? All right, great.
Any Tottenham fans?
Any Tottenham fans? Oh,
No,
God.
that's fine,
Crikey, guys, this is a tough crowd. So they loved football, that was a thing. So you were celebrated for doing sport, but you were slightly different because the other girls didn't do.
Katie, do you think Maggie was sort of one of the first to sort of, train hard? One of the first professional athletes to use the gym work. So when she sort of started playing international rugby, she was ahead of a lot of others.
But I think the way Maggie played as well, like, you were ahead of your time in the era we played, like the dominance you set, the way you and I think it was testament, like, post your retirement, about what a number 7 meant in the women's game. Maggie kind of set that mould for it, and it was probably through your work ethic, your diligence, your attention to, I am going to dominate physically my opposition. And I think that mentality was huge for us, but it was set by players like Mags, who just came out, and regardless if we were playing touch or contact, it was exactly the same.
That raises the bar then for everyone else to say, 100%. This is the level we need to get to.
Yeah, 100%. And also the confidence it gives you as a group to go, she's first out the blocks, right? Maggie, your job is you're going to make that first tackle. And the type of tackle it was never going to be passive. It was tone setting. And I mean, we played with Selena Rudge, didn't we, before that as well. And I think your defensive mould was very similar to her. She could win a game in the opening minute by just, especially against teams like France, that mentally sat, sometimes it could go either way. And I think Mags came and did exactly the same, just was like, right, like almost like the job's done now. We just need to score some points because you've kind of broken that spirit. And the women's game, it was very rare because nobody else could match what she could do.
Selena Rudge was a Kiwi, and she played for England, and she had big thighs, big arms, typical Kiwi. She had tats as well, and I think it was very much, she was someone I did sort of mould myself on, because she was just, when you got hit by her, you knew you'd been hit. But it was quite nice to have someone like that, and then you got to think, well, how can I take it to another level? But do
you think because you were in the gym lunchtimes and break times and things like that, do you think the rugby element of your life at that time changed your school life as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So I'd say up until that point, so year 9 was when I really found rugby, so 13, 14. Prior to that, I was kind of like all over the shop, quite a challenging child. And then I found the rugby, and it just gave me this like mindset of, I need to get my head down. I need to do well, especially growing up in this council estate, really kind of bad background. If you want to be successful, and that was kind of ingrained in me after that, really, being around really good role models at rugby, get your head down, focus on that. If you can do well in rugby, great, but if not, you've got to really get your grades, get your GCSEs.
Who was your role model with rugby? You must have, was there anyone that you looked at and thought, right?
Yeah, I didn't actually have anyone initially. I was always kind of inspired by Denise Lewis. Like, I mean, she wasn't in rugby, heptathlete. I remember 2000 Olympics, her winning gold at Sydney. I was like, wow, she's so cool. And she's got all these, like, she's got like a 12-pack, similar to yourself there, Phil. And I was like, I want that. But I was inspired by her, and then I found my role models in rugby. So I was quite lucky. Being at Saracens, there was really great people like Emma Mitchell, Maxine Edwards. They inspired me, and I was inspired by Jonah Lomu because that's what I saw on TV quite frequently.
Don't worry, we all were.
Okay.
I didn't know this about Maggie until much later on, but obviously you were born with a disability as well, and I'd played with her for like 10 years before we knew this. Tell us about that. How did that...
Yeah, so I was born with it's called clubfoot, or the professional term is alopecia. So it's basically where one or both your feet are turned in. So for me, my right foot was completely turned in when I was born. The first thing they said was like, she will have to have an operation if you want to correct it, to straighten it. And the operation happens quite early on. So I won't have any recollection of this, but an operation quite early on, and then you spend quite a lot of your time in a cast. So there's a thing... you have your feet in a cast, and there's usually a bar that keeps your feet in, not a cast, but like a boot that keeps your feet straight. So for a child to go through that, for your single parent mum to have to go, I don't know how to navigate this. Very fortunate that I've come through it, and it's not really affected me, but it's amazing when I speak to other people who have had similar
do you think that's your superpower? Do you think you had something like that it gave you that launch pad to...
Yeah. That's a good point. I never...
Determination.
He's got visions of you breaking out of this cast like Forrest Gump. Like Forrest Gump just running.
But how many times do you read or you hear on TV people who've been successful, not necessarily just sport, but business, life, who've had a moment or something which has made them go, boom.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, that level of adversity that you've had to get over that's kind of strengthened your resilience to an extent. It's funny, like growing up, I didn't know I had this. I was unaware of it until I got older, and I spoke to Mum about it, and she was like, this is what's happened to you. And also in an England training session, our doctor came up to me and said, you've got this massive scar on the back of your right leg. You've had this operation that's taken part of your calf off and it's straight in your foot. I was like, what? Tell me more.
How old were you when that happened then?
So I didn't know off the top of my head, but it would have been like a good few, like within the year after you wore, because your bones are soft. So it's amazing. Then I sat down with Mum, had a good chat about it.
When you see you play and everything, you didn't even think of anything like that happening.
But if you watch, so I've got a limp when I walk now. So when I'm in, if I'm in Buckinghamshire, everyone's like, oh, you've got a limp there, darling. But when you're in London, they're like, you're so cool. As I progressed, and then I started to understand what the condition was, and other athletes that have had it have done incredibly well. Like Stephen Gerrard, actually, I found out had it went over his time, and look, he went on to do pretty well as a football player. So I had a lot of work.
I think that was your superpower.
Maybe resilient, definitely made me resilient. And now I try and work with other parents and just sort of, because like it's new to people if they don't know about it, and if you haven't found out the 20-week scan, all of a sudden your child's born, you go, oh, how do I support my child? And actually, sport was the best thing. It strengthened my calf, and now I feel like I don't really let it bother me.
Was that good training?
Yeah.
No, I hated training.
Yeah.
I just wanted to play.
Yeah.
I literally just want to, like...
You're a game,
I liked anything with the ball.
Game animal.
But, like...
You are good with it, but you are a good player, so you almost like...
I enjoyed that. Like, sometimes...
Yeah. Especially sort of contact.
Contact. Small-sided games. Like, oh...
What about if you got paired up with like Maggie?
Right, Maggie, and there used to be another back row called Heather Fisher.
Yeah.
And honestly, when they were like, grab a partner, everybody was so fearful, because you always had like gentleman's agreement, didn't you? Sometimes like you fall over, that kind of like
good hit.
Yeah, good hit. Oh wow, you got me. Honestly, these two would take somebody out, and you'd be like, oh, like trying to catch somebody's eye. God, I'm going to end up with them. The amount of times I got left, especially with Heather and Sevens or Maggie.
Heather is the worst, though.
You just want the ones that fall into you, don't you?
Yeah, literally smash you every time. No quarter given.
Yeah.
Heather was another level, though. She was...
We used to have a guy called Celeste Finau.
Oh, yeah.
Leslie, right? And he was 5'10" tall, 5'10" wide, right? Couldn't do weights, because every time he did weights, he just got twice the size. You know what I mean? He looked at the weight, he got twice the size. He was so powerful.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, right, get into pairs, and you've never seen anybody run so much. Everybody would run, and Celeste would be stood in the middle, and there'd be one person going...
Can we be three?
Bad hamstring. You know what I mean? Trevor Leota was the same, wasn't he?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
no neck, yeah.
I've never been hit so hard by Trevor Leota in my life. But training with him, he must have been exactly the same.
Well, listen, he was an absolute unit, wasn't he? But it's the same. I was just thinking back to England days. The same with the defence, and you like pair up, and you're like looking around trying to find somebody like Jason Leonard, because you know, Jace knows the crack. But no, you get Julian White, who spent all his time trying to beat me up anyway, and then he gets a legal opportunity to knock 7 bells out of you, and you're like that. Oh my God. This is going to hurt.
Yeah.
This is going to.
I wouldn't have you down as to shy away from the.
Well, no, I'm not. But it's funny. I trained to play. I wasn't like a professional trainer, because I used to know loads of boys who really were professional trainers who didn't actually play the game, and
I was the opposite.
Train like Tarzan, play like Jane.
That's the best.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. I trained. I did it. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But the only reason I did it was to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, totally get that.
Yeah.
So the way I'm getting it is that Saracens has played a huge part in your life. From that young age of 12, 13, 14, going down there into the senior side and playing all your career at Saracens. What does Saracens mean to you?
For me, I guess it was my second home, and regardless of the club, it was like, growing up in this sort of challenging environment, and then you sort of needed stability, and the club brought me that stability. I was surrounded by lots of like mature, older women who were like almost like mums to me. So whenever I was sort of like straying away from the straight and narrow, they sort of pulled me back. So I saw it as very much like a second home, a place where I felt like I could develop some really good friends, but also get that discipline, which I probably wasn't getting so much in that school environment. So it was really good to have that. And Saracens grew me up. It literally did. I've had some fun times, I've had some bad times there, but I also got to like develop myself as a leader and build that resilience. And along the way we won some trophies, which was always quite nice. And then obviously the women's setup just grew, and I felt like we were at the time, I would say at the time definitely, we were kind of like leading the way in terms of the support that you need to give to your women's side. But what's great since then, like there's so many other women's teams who have done incredibly well. But it was a nice club for me to be at. And then we moved to StoneX. And I was just like, at that point I was like, I'm going to have to retire now. Even though they got a pitch that can manage my knees, I was like, I'm going to have to retire. But it was nice to be part of that establishment of it, because it was a really good club before I got there. The women's team were brilliant. Obviously the men's team had some good players as well. So to see it progress and be part of it, it really has a special place in my heart. And if you go there now, if you go to Bramley Road now, you will see a mural of my face there. It hasn't been graffitied on yet, so that's good. But there's a mural of my face. Yeah, they're like...
even Banksy wouldn't do it.
I loved it. Like Bramley Road was a special time, because that was my first sort of real professional club. And we used to have an amazing sort of team social there, because Southgate is, I think, the first stop on the Piccadilly line. So we'd go on at Southgate, have a pint, and then we'd get off at every single stop, all the way up to...
And it's a long line.
All the way to King's Cross. There'd be like 40 stops, like Arnos Grove and everything like that, and boys would be carrying bin liners, and then we'd be on the tube, and be like flats would start a clap like this, and we'd get past through the tube windows and everything like that. It was mad, honestly. It was such a good time.
It's a long line as well.
It is a long line.
Like,
we could do about 10 stops, and then that was it. Boys had to go home. but it was incredible. It was such a... Just turned from sort of amateur to professional. With that came, money, it came a bit more training, but you still had sort of the amateur ethos around
I remember
it.
you guys though, back in the day, you, Richard Hill, Kieran Bracken, all turn up in your Ford Mondeo, I think it was.
Yeah, the green ones.
Green ones. I was like, oh, look at these posh guys. I was like, it was a lovely, it was a mixture between professional and amateur still, but it felt like we were in the...
I feel lucky to be part of that era as well.
I agree.
Where it became...
Amazing.
Yeah, because you still had the amateur
100%.
thinking behind it. You trained professionally, you obviously got paid, but... after most games and in the week, you were still allowed to go out and have a couple of beers and still enjoy it. And whilst now, it's frowned upon, people have got to look after themselves, professionalism, more money.
Agree.
We had a good time. Stick to Rugby, brought to you by Defender.
Your first cap, 2003. What was that international experience like?
Yeah, I don't know what it was like for you, Katie, but it was strange because you kind of like come into this environment and like you sort of really good, amazing people you know about, like Emma Mitchell for me at the time, Maxine Edwards, and I was like, wow, I want to be like them. And I was this 19-year-old who was full of confidence, and I was like, naturally at the time I was a bit too cocky. I was like, oh, I'm better than everyone, and quickly that got got hammered out of me. But it was a very professional environment that wasn't professional. Again, we didn't have the money, but these women were top athletes. They really worked hard. They all had like 2 jobs, you know, and still tried to make sure they were very good athletes. So my first camp, I couldn't tell you what happened on the day of my camp, but I just loved the atmosphere and being part of these amazing women and just thinking, right, I now know I really want to be a starter. I want to get that jersey, and it took some time, but I've eventually got there in the end. Got my first cap, 2003, out in Canada.
Churchill Cup.
Churchill Cup, that's correct, yeah. It was quite a big tournament back then.
Yeah, huge.
Got my first cap against USA, and I was up against, I forgot what her name was, but it's really like...
Phaedra Knight.
No, it was another player. I was playing 12 at the time, so my first cap was at inside centre.
Yeah.
So Katie doesn't realise I can pass, but she keeps saying, no, I never pass.
She just chose not to.
I never pass.
If you don't need to, then you
I
don't
know,
need to,
I mean, if there's a hole in the gap in front of me, I've got to run into
I
it.
forgot about that.
So I started off as 12.
So did you play 12?
Yeah.
Coming through for Saracens and
Actually, I started off as a prop, realised that wasn't fun. Sorry, Vic. So I just came out, I was like, can't do that anymore.
Realised how incredibly hard it was.
I did that in the 15s. I got a final Welsh trial at tight end prop, and my first time I've ever propped, and I think they only did it so they give me that ability to go and get fit. Yeah. You know, I got my flying wings. Yeah. The prop picked me up, and I got off. I picked my bag, and my dad said, "How do you think that went?" I said, "I'm getting fit. I'm getting fit." I go to the back row.
I think they should put everyone in the front row.
They should do.
That's like your initiation. You've got to do it, and then if you can get through that, then you're.
The only thing that really appeals to me is the front row chat. The idea of being that close to somebody, like but some of them are quite fun. No, maybe I'm hoping there's a bit more, like a bit more.
What about the sweat going?
No, I don't want to do any of that. Just the niggle though.
What do you talk about? Yeah, like what?
Phil,
Like,
would
do you
you
get
grow
stuck
your
into
beard?
somebody?
Do you have any like dark art?
Or would you give them the look?
I never used to talk much.
Did
I
you
thought
not?
it was too knackered. Yeah, and I don't like people who talk too much.
Did you ever get talked to?
Oh, all the time, yeah.
What do they say?
Oh, loads of I couldn't repeat half of it.
Who was the worst?
Yeah, who was the worst? Like who had the worst chat?
I used to get a lot of abuse from the French boys. I couldn't understand what they say, so it didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
But I don't know about...
Have you got your roller skates on again?
But dark arts. I'll tell you the one thing, it's funny, nothing to do with international, going right back to my early days, was when you used to put deep heat on your shirt and sand, because then when you're rubbing in the back of your necks, you're rubbing skin in deep heat, and it's the most painful thing in the world. That I still remember.
I know one hooker that used to put deep heat on the top of his head.
Yeah.
And the first, I've spoiled my hair now. And
it's got to be bald. Isn't it?
and the first scrum, he used to ram his head into the face of the opposition hooker.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Very
really?
smart.
But I think
Okay,
the front, the front row, it's more for me. It's different for everybody, but it's more about that because it's a dark place. You find out about somebody. There's no frills, no spills. No one really cares. You don't care out in the centres about a scrum. Back row kind of get it a little bit, just so they've got to show interest to get told off if they don't. Yeah. Second rows, but it's only really...
It's true, we're just trying to break away.
Really, it's the most... You don't get any reward from anybody.
No.
When you
have to be a certain breed to play.
You've absolutely
always
given,
look at that.
you know, I often come off the field and, you know, like if you're getting a bit of stick about the way you're playing or whatever it is, and you look at your stats and there's 26 scrums and you've executed 92% success rate and da-da-da, but no one gives an absolute monkeys.
I've got to be honest.
And it can be soul destroying.
No, I did because it allowed me to play, and I think as a number 8, genuinely, the only thing I ever wanted, number 1 up, number 3 up. Yeah. If you did that for me, honestly, the best thing in the world.
Is there anything more rewarding for you in the front row?
Not as number 8.
Than a scrum, a good scrum, going forward. you either win a penalty or you've destroyed the front row.
Well, I never used to get much joy out of destroying somebody, but
Did you not?
Not really. All I cared about was being functional and thinking, right, to get it done. And a lot of people forget about the scrum. It's a shame. It does get a lot of stick because all this collapsing and stuff. If you have a positive front row and a positive scrum coaches with positive coaches, the scrum is a positive thing. It's your first point of attack and it's your first point of defence. It's a bloody important part of the game. And it's a wonderful thing. I was watching the girls yesterday, I don't want to go off piece, but watching the girls yesterday, and I saw whoever the tight head.
Maud.
No, on the other side.
Oh,
Bilal?
Bilal.
She was like 6 foot in the air. And I thought,
It's a bad day.
Did you see that? You must saw at half time that they were interviewing Mary Earps, who's obviously former goalkeeper, and they were like, what rugby position would you be? And they were like, she said, I don't know who, I was talking to some of the people in my box and they said that I should be a tight end prop.
Is that what she said?
I was like, they've stitched you up there, they've stitched you up.
Properly
doing that.
So you've done very well then to miss the front row.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, it built me up, it tested me, made me realise I don't want to do that again. And then I've went out to the backs and came back in again.
From there to there, so talk, how long did you play centre for?
So I basically went to outside centre, believe it or not, from being a prop, outside centre.
Get as far away as you can.
I was like, what is the furthest I can get away from the scrum? But it really helped me understand running lines and channels, it gave me a really good perspective of the overall game. And then I went to 12, and people keep telling me, as you get older, your number gets lower. So I went to 12, and then people kept telling me I didn't pass, which I was like, what? This is like the way forward, man. No, shouldn't pass, should we, Tom, in the centres?
You got she got a lot of gain line.
And actually, when I got into the England team, you passed me. So I owe a lot to you. Some of those tries, I mean, you could have just dummied and just gone yourself. But
you could have been captain.
You tried so much harder.
But then I basically enjoyed being an inside centre. Again, it really helped me develop my understanding. And then found myself. So my first cap was at 12. Yeah. And then after that, I got dropped from the England team. And then I had to wait for a whole year. I was told to move position. And the best position for me was to be in
Richards.
That's correct, yeah. And Graham Smith was in at the time, who's our forwards coach, and they were like, 7, open side centre is your position. And I was like, I'll do it. For me, it's getting back into that England team. I just don't know how to play it. And I remember actually doing some work with Dan Welsh. He's just left Harlequins.
Oh, Danny Wilson.
Danny Wilson, yeah. And him and Graham Smith, they were like, here's a Bible on how to play 7. I was like...
Well, basically, you should have just said, see this ball? See this ball?
Go get it.
Go get it. When you've got it, run round and hit people. When you haven't got it, go get the ball.
And you see that, anything with a 10 on it, just go hit it.
Yeah.
Just hit it.
Yeah. If Fran's got the ball, you can hit it. If I've got the ball.
Anywhere.
And I just spent a year, I say it was like a degree on learning how to play 7. And I came back and had to go at 7. And then I was like, I love this position.
Yeah. In terms of learning, you were with the England World Cup in 2006, 2010, which you didn't win.
Yeah, thanks for that, yeah.
Yeah. You did win it in 2014.
Yeah.
How much do you think those two tournaments in 06 and 10 paid tribute to win it in 14?
They had a huge impact. Like 2006, I thought we would win that World Cup up against New Zealand.
That was in Canada as well, wasn't it?
That's correct. Yeah. Black Ferns. We played the Commonwealth Stadium. It was like amazing stadium, and there's probably about 5 people in the actual stadium. But it was an amazing experience. Got out there and we got beaten. They were just way too good. And that was my first time I had actually played against the New Zealand side, the 4-15 side. And I was just in awe of them. I think that's what it was. We were all in awe, but some players had played against them and had lost. So they kind of had that weighing on their shoulders. Yeah. Then in 2010, World Cup in England, we got to the final, I was like, totally going to win this. And they even had a player or 2 players sin binned. I thought, even more so, against the team, we're totally going to win this. We didn't win it. And we lost it 13-10. Oh. I just kind of think, one penalty. I always say it's my biggest regret in my career is I never got to beat New Zealand in a World Cup. And I was just like, that's one of the things I would love to come out of retirement, just to have a go again. But it says a lot about how good they are. They've always been good at World Cups.
They're good at every level, aren't they?
Tournament team, though.
Wales haven't beaten them for 60-something years. I remember one year, it was 2002, and Steve Hansen was our coach. Yeah. He was a Kiwi himself. Yeah. And he was adamant we were going to beat New Zealand. and it was over in Hamilton in New Zealand. And I was thinking, well, if we got a chance of beating them, it's probably going to be at home, not away in their backyard. But I said, oh, go on then, Steve, I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Yeah, what have you got for us? And he said, well, they've got a new cap at 12. He said he shouldn't really be in the team. You know, he's not good enough.
Oh, no.
He's there through injury. So we're like that, right, that's it. We're in, Steve. You know, we're going to do it. 50 years of hurt, we're in. Look through the teams. It was like Muliaina at 15, Rico Gear 14, Tanu Manga 13, 12, new cap. He's the chink in the armour. Daniel Carter. So like that. Right, that's it. He's having it. He's having it. Run at him all day. Didn't quite happen that way. Scored 2 tries, 20 points, all in, one man of the match. I went on to be one of the best players in the world. Thanks to us.
That newbie.
Because if he hadn't played Wales, I don't think he would have been the player that he was.
Never played again.
Yeah, never played again.
But taking credit for
Dan
Carter's career.
We were a stepping stone to Daniel Carter, who then changed his name to Dan.
So
cooler.
You've won a World Cup by association.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's even better.
But look, New Zealand are good at all levels, aren't they? You know, they.
But Ireland did you a favour, and then you play Canada.
Yeah.
And I love the way Canada play. I just absolutely love the way Canada play. They're brilliant. I think they're absolutely brilliant. But they have taken rugby on. Why do you think Canada, as number 2 in the world, why do you think they're so good?
They're a really interesting side because you look at their funding model and they're self-funded. You know, they went crowdfunding to raise £1 million to get themselves here. They don't have a big. You wouldn't look at Canada and be like, they're a big rugby nation, don't really have a strong men's side. Their Sevens programme is probably the biggest influence on what they've done. They've always had a good Seven side. They've always produced athletes, the likes of Kelly Russell, ex-Canadian. They've always had a talismanic 8 or second row, Sophie de Goody this time round. But they are super interesting. I think it's a type of athletes they produce, whether that's because the sports at home they play translates nicely into rugby. And the influence of Seven has been huge. You know, they've got loads of girls in the PWR now. Sarries have always had a big hub. I think when we looked at the team sheet on Friday night, there's something like 7 Olympians in there. There's like 10 playing in PWR, a couple in France, and then that's it. And that's how they've used the model is really interesting.
It's because actually the men's team, professionalism really ruined Canada, doesn't it? Because their men's team was a strong team in early mid.
I lost my first cup. They beat us in Cardiff. Yeah, Cardiff.
And I would say professionalism didn't suit them, did it? Because it allowed then for players to come over and come away.
They've only just qualified again, haven't they? Just for coming.
Because they were always tough to play against. Big, physical, powerful brutes.
That's their women as well, exactly the same. Yeah. Really powerful, really physical. Probably sometimes.
But they play.
But I think that's the difference now. They've now got a bit of a tactical and a skillful edge, whereas previously we would have played Canada and gone, right, you just need to tackle them, and actually we could probably kick the corners and be a bit savvier. Yeah.
But
whereas now
they believe in themselves as well. Like I think in 2014, I remember seeing an interview from Tyson Bookerboom, got the best name in women's rugby. She was saying, like, back in 2014, nobody believed in us. No one thought we would ever get to the final. And they got to the final, and it was a bit of a surprise. Yeah. When now people are like, people think we can get this. Yeah. And people keep saying they're dark horses, but I think they're far from that. They are real contenders. And that is almost driving them on, because they're like, people now expect, our country expect, and they've got this massive support with this, obviously, crowdfunding. People want them to do well, and their semi-final against New Zealand will be interesting.
It's a great story.
Self-belief in 2014, though. The self-belief must have been huge.
Yeah, I mean, we worked really hard on it, didn't it? It wasn't by accident. There was loads of bits that we talked about, like how this time was different and that evidence-based confidence as opposed to just being words. You think how Stu Pickering coming in as our S&C. We had a load of change. We'd been beaten by France in that opening Six Nations in 2014, and I think that moment there was probably a bit of a eye-opener. We'd gone to New Zealand in 2013, being battered 3 tests. So all the things when you talk about having positive prep, we definitely hadn't had that. But I think the big thing that this group had was a massive sense of unity, like the work people were doing. Because everybody's working. We had vets, we had police officers, we had teachers, we had some girls doing 3 bits of jobs. But I think that if you talk about, we were talking in the car when we were around Daley-Thompson and about him going, I did 3 sessions because the other guy was doing 2.
Yeah.
That was a massive driver, I think, for us all. I knew Maggie was going to get up and she's going to do a session ahead, and I was like, I need to do that because I know she's doing that and I know Soph's doing that. I think for us all, that was a huge driver of that togetherness, even though you weren't on top of each other, having loads of time together. That trust and belief in the group was I've never felt it again in another side I've played for.
It's really interesting when you think about World Cups and how you keep that momentum. As Ruby Tui keeps saying, you don't have to be the best team, you just got to turn up on the day and be good then. So I do feel during 2014 we were right at the right time, but we probably didn't have the best tournament, but we won it, which was good.
Take us back to, not the game, the final whistle. Because of the 2 losses coming into it, a lot of that group were there. The final whistle.
Can you remember it?
Yeah, it's probably one of my clearest memories. I can't really remember the game. It's that, so everybody goes wild, and probably my memory is when you wait to get the trophy, because as the captain you stand at the back, which is pretty cool, and I just literally had a moment there. All the girls are in front, there's tears, there's crying, and there were Nikki Ponsford, who was our performance director at the time. She'd played for England, she'd gone through all of this. She was probably instrumental in probably the changes we see in the women's game today. They're like, Nikki, and she was literally just bawling, and she is not an emotional woman, you don't see that. And I think just that moment to really appreciate that wasn't about us. Yes, that group had done it, but the girls that had lost, there were some legends of our game that had never won a World Cup, and that they were there in France, and that support to think, actually, we've put that to bed. Because we did so many interviews. The interest was, it was not like it is today, but the interest was huge about being bridesmaids and never bride. Just that moment of pride to think, thank God for that. Like, the next group don't have to do that. And actually, probably this is what this group will carry a little bit now. We lost in 2017. They then went on to lose again in 22. The weight then picks up again, doesn't it? About holding, you're not just about you and your group, you're about your sport and those have come before you.
I remember the whistle blown, and I just remember thinking, in 2003, when the England men won it, I remember hearing about Will Greenwood running to go to Johnny and just knowing that this footage and this will go around the world. So I was like, where's Sarah Hunter? I can see Sarah Hunter. So I ran to her and I was like, hey! And then I think there's still footage of all of us like just jumping, because I think I just grabbed the first leader, because I don't think you were nearby us, you were obviously at the backs. And I think that went a bit viral, and I was like, yes, I was in the footage.
Got it.
Maggie,
in 2014, I was like,
I'm pouring my heart out. Maggie's like, am I going to be on TV?
Am I going to be? I was thinking about my career.
Oh yeah, you did right.
I was broadcasting. But I was just relieved when, even though we were well ahead, like we knew at that time we were going to win it after, I think, as
Skazzy's goal.
Just last bit, and I was like, right, we've got this. But when the whistle went, I felt relief. Like, I didn't feel the sense of like overwhelming celebration. I was just like, God, it's taken so long to get to this point. For myself, anyway, it took 12 years really to get to that point, and for many others, it took longer. Some took shorter. I mean, I think Marley Packer, who was playing sixth.
Alex Matthews as well.
Alex Matthews, that was their first World Cup. They turned up 1 gold, and they're like, well,
this is
next. You know, so. It was a really special moment to hear the whistle, and then, like you said, to see past players in the crowd, see your family, your friends, and being in France as well. It felt like our own sort of like little bubble. It was very much away from it. And then when we came back in the airport,
we went to the pub as well, didn't we, on the roundabout, big pub. They drank this pub dry in France, so they were going to the local supermarket with beers, and it was, you know, just one of them moments. That bus driver stopped on this big roundabout in France. We piled out. They're singing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, the trophies doing the rounds round a pub. And like you touched upon, you wouldn't get that now. No. But then we had this lovely mix of friends, families, just fans who'd come out, jumped on the Eurostar, able to celebrate and touch it. And I think that is the beauty of what the game was, that connection was still so important.
It's 11 years past.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about the special thing that you did now?
Yeah.
I think it's at that point it was amazing for the game. We needed to have done that. We needed to have got rid of that monkey that we'd carried around. I think you never really appreciate what you do and how it fast forward it impacts. But I think that the way England as a union then grabbed women's rugby and the steps that came out of it, professional contracts, sevens going full time, they really drove the game forward. And I think at a time when all the unions still were probably quite, we'll just sit back and we'll wait, I think that group potentially started something that is now impacting the game in a different way today, and it's a pleasure to be part of it, isn't it? We played the game, or I played the game because I loved it. It was never about money or big trophies. It was because my mates played. I was all right at it, and like I enjoyed playing for England. To think it has an impact on today, that's just an added bonus.
I love the fact like I think I've got great appreciation now when I can look back. I can see it more and think, wow, look at the impact that we had. And then you talk to Jill Burns and who was the captain back in 1994 when they lifted the Karen Armand. Karen Armand, apologies, and then Jill Burns took over after. Like you talk to those captains of the England team and what their journey was like, what it felt like, the challenge that they had to overcome and what they achieved. I mean, when they won that World Cup back in 1994, there was not a lot of people, and the attitudes to women's rugby was so different.
But I don't think you can really truly enjoy your career until you've finished.
Agreed.
Until you reflect. And
No, I agree.
Do you enjoy it more now that you?
Oh, 100%. I probably get more emotional now. When you ask that question to me, what are your emotions on the day? Like when we did it. This is the sad person that I am, perhaps. I remember because 2 years previous, we were stood on that field and lost the Lions Test series.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that I remembered.
And that was one of the hardest days.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I thought, God, that made me feel good. And also all the players and things, and the boys around. And I don't Willie Greenwood going for the newspaper. 100%, I get that. But it didn't. That was the first thing that came across my mind. 'Cause I remember thinking I was so upset for that Lions final. I remember George Gregan going around and I'm thinking, gee.
You do have those memories though. You remember all the bad experiences from it.
You only learn. It's like you're saying you've learned. You lost to such and such. You only truly learned from losing. Yeah. And you can analyse till the cows come home when you win a game and stats and numbers and whatever it was. The pain of losing drives you further than anything else.
There has to be winners, there has to be losers, but you feel sorry for some of them, especially, I think, the Irish girls.
Agreed.
I mean, you can't take anything away from France. They won the game, but on the flip side, you're looking at the emotions that come out after the game, and you think, I can't not help feel sorry.
I think you're right.
It was that 38 to 45 minutes in that first half when they were pinned.
35 phases that went through on France's line.
And I think one more try there could have just tipped them over the edge.
Could have, should have, might have.
Yeah, it is. I'm in that should have, would have, could have camp.
I mean, the turnover was incredible, wasn't it? That was the turning point. The try down the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Pace.
Joe Greasier running down the side there. I mean, for Ireland, though, to go in 13-0 up at half-time, I think they'll be frustrated naturally because they've lost. But to think that they were ahead, they were on top.
Also, the wind they had, Sandy Park was so windy, it was wet, it was miserable. And I always find this decision really interesting. I don't know what you guys think about when you use the wind. For me, I always wanted it in the second half. I wanted to know what we could do. And whether Ireland won the toss, I don't know. But I always think
use it in the first half because the wind might go in the second.
But that wind was not going anywhere. I just think, like 20 minutes, you end up just cancelling each other out. So you get 20 minutes, and when you're pressure to chase a score when teams are fresh I think is harder. So, and especially with Dan O'Brien's kicking game, I just go and pin France. I wondered if, in hindsight, you would have changed your decision making, but like we said, 13 points it just wasn't enough against France.
Talking about kicking game, Holly Aitchison's kicking game was superb at the weekend.
Masterclass in half-back management from me. Mohan hits the 50-22 from the turnover scrum. Then just a bit of variation from Holly, wasn't there? There was moments where it's starting to stall. She just put something in behind. They had 2 crossfield kick attempts.
Variation, even the intent right from the very beginning with a crossfield kick, which didn't work, but as the opposition, it's making you think, isn't it?
100%.
Straight away.
Two minds then, aren't you? Do we put line speed up? Do we hold back, which creates spaces out wide?
Yeah, 100%. Tatiana Hurd, I thought, was very good. She's been under a bit of criticism, but she just went back to what she did. She was direct, she was forceful. She provides such speed of ball because that carry's so dominant down the middle. Yeah, I thought England was so much better.
I think England's set piece though, I know I talk a lot about the scrums and the lineouts, but the way they played against Australia was very inconsistent. But yesterday, I mean, I don't think I don't think Scotland has much line out, which is like, I'm a massive fan of Scotland, but they just kept losing the line out. And it wasn't just the conditions. I just thought the pressure that England had with 3 good jumpers had such an impact. Zoe Alcroft had come back from her knee injury. And then the scrum, I mean, again, in the scrum last weekend, England got 2 scrum penalties, which they rarely get against them. But I mean, they were very strong at the scrum as well.
Scotland had a lot of possession, didn't they, at the start of the game, but again, didn't really do enough with it. If you have that much possession in a team's half, you've got to come away with some type of points just to put pressure on teams.
I mean,
they couldn't.
They were smart initially, got the first 3 points, and then after that, I just think they couldn't get into 22 and they couldn't come away with anything. But it was.
I just take my hats off to the girls just because to be under that much pressure all the time. They've won how many games in a row?
30 games now.
31,
sorry.
To keep going, everyone's after them. Your motivation to keep going, the weather was awful, so you've got to keep moving forward. Everyone talks about performance, and I just think the resilience and the mindset and the determination, I'm absolutely awe, really.
33 sounds nice, though. If they can do 33, that means the finals in there.
France next week?
Yeah.
And that's going to be... France can't play that poorly in the first half again, can they?
Well, if they do, England will put 30 on them, won't they?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
You see the emotion on the French players before. You can see how much it meant to them.
Yeah.
You know, before that, did that add pressure? Because I was always a good tear up, but some of them, they were so emotional before that game.
They're such an interesting group, though, the French. I think maybe less so in men's rugby now. They're a bit more consistent, aren't they? But the women, for the talent they have in that group, and then what they put on the pitch as a performance, it just, for me, doesn't marry up. And whether after this we'll see some changes in coaches, I don't know. But it's not through lack of talent. They have some of the players to be some of the best players in the world, but it's just not connecting the dots between their style.
What always kills me... Sorry. Okay, you go.
Your show. Your guest.
I'll say what kills me about the French, which always breaks me, because I think, they're talented, is their discipline. Their discipline always... Like, they do something really well, and then someone does something really silly, like they give away penalties. So they get 3 yellow cards in the game, and then they had 17 penalties, and obviously a biting incident. You just think, what is going on with the French?
That was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, the bite is bad.
It's just not acceptable. Like, who does that? Like, who does it? And I mean,
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Yeah.
Have you bit somebody?
When? Who?
I did once.
It was accidentally.
Yeah.
No,
It always is accidental.
Deliberately?
Yeah, totally. The French loose head had his finger in behind my eyeball, and there was cuts all. He had it behind my eyeball. So I spat my gum shield out, and I just caught hold of him, and he was and he went to the referee. Look, and he looked at me, and my eye was almost, back in the day when they used to try and pull your eyeball out. My eye was up like that, and I was almost closing, and the referee looked at him and he said, "Get back." My eye almost closed then.
Play on, it's fine.
Honestly,
everybody move on.
If I hadn't...
That's awful.
And it was the most horrendous feeling when you could feel the finger right behind. That's the only time I have ever, and that it was in self-defense.
Have you been bitten before, though?
No.
Sister, yeah.
Sounds like my kids.
You're like, get off.
No,
but it's awful. Like, you just don't see it in the game. And I said this before, like,
well, not in a ruck.
Not in a ruck. But also, like, we're celebrating a really good festival of women's rugby. Yeah. And now I'll be honest, like, the headline is dominated by this incident. And I just think, like, why? And the punishment will be harsh on her. Like, it will be harsh.
It should be.
She'll be out of this World Cup now.
Yeah.
And you think, God, that's potentially cost you, and has now really made a bit of a mockery of what was actually initially quite a good game.
So New Zealand beat South Africa as well. Do you think Rassie Erasmus had popped into the South African training camp this week and
this is how we do lineups?
You've got to do something different. Let's do a 14-person lineup.
And we'll lift your scrum half or your fullback.
Let's just maul them. I mean, they tried something different, I suppose, which they had to if they stood a chance of winning, but ultimately it didn't pay off.
Yeah, no, I think, look, South Africa to get to a quarter was kind of like an overachievement anyway. I think where we'd pitched them, we thought Italy would have come out of that group. And then look, they scored first, they held them at half time. I think it was a really performance to be proud of from South Africa there, and something that they'll go and celebrate. You know, they've massively invested in their women's game. Lynn Cantwell has been huge in the role and how she's changing the view of South Africa women in rugby in that country. So I think hopefully there's only bright things to come from there. But it's a respectable performance, 46-17 against Black Ferns, who have been...
Kept them out. They kept them out for like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I thought they were outstanding in that first half. Yeah. It was everything that South African rugby is. It was power, it was pace, they were, the contact area was absolutely brutal with them at times. They carried hard. It's just they didn't have that 80 minutes in them today.
Yeah,
who's that young winger from New Zealand?
Sorensen Maggie.
Oh, wow.
She's 18 years old.
Wow.
Oh my God.
How many tries has she got?
She's up to 8 now, isn't she?
She's not top try scorer at the moment.
Top point scorer though, isn't she?
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Full
of confidence.
What pace.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
Canada as well. I mean, I don't know if Scott's mentioned that.
My favourite.
Canada wanted to
Yeah, he likes them.
And he used to work for Sky. I don't know if you mentioned that.
I put 2 dishes on the way up here today. Brilliant. I go in the hotel. I put one on the hotel.
Is that what you were doing outside?
Yeah. Top floor. Yeah, no problem. You'll be done now, son. You'll be done now.
Can Canada give New Zealand a game?
Yeah, I think so, 100%.
Oh.
Friday night, I think it could be the game of the tournament if both teams turn up. Sophie de Goody was absolutely outstanding. For a second row, the way she plays, her decision-making, the variation, and she just as a goal kicker as well, you know, just to chuck that in there. She, for me, could be our player of the tournament.
Kick.
At the post.
At no.
Have you met him?
No.
I definitely remember you doing some old like chips and kicks back in your day. No, is it?
Might be his brother.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, there must have been a dream you had. That I had more ability than I actually had. Kick, no.
Well, I don't know. The try you scored against France. Try you scored against France. Quite you're mobile.
Shit, I could run, yeah. I could run over people.
Just not kick it.
There's a little bit of footwork in that one, though.
There was a lot of footwork in it.
I scored a try 94. I was very, very young. And I managed to come off the top. And it was 45 yards, right? And people said, but it was actually 45 yards off the back. I came down the inside, down, and people said, God, you were quick. And I always tell people, you would be quick if you had Benetton and Benazir chasing you. You would be quick, because if they caught you, you're in the shit.
Dive as well in the corner, wasn't it? It was amazing.
Down there.
It's still on YouTube. So England still favourites? Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Do we think it's going to be England, New Zealand?
Yeah.
Final? Yeah. Okay.
I think we do.
Oh, look at that.
Do you not?
I generally cannot call the New Zealand-Canada game. Like the last time they played.
That's your job, Maggie. It's your job.
I know. Get off that fence. Get those splinters out. I mean, the last time they played against each other, 27-all. It was close. The game before that, Canada won. And Canada, like, they've got a good bench now.
Where is it?
Friday night, 7:30.
Where?
Ashton Gate.
Ashton Gate. Is that what you said?
Weather's not looking good.
I don't think it's due to be as bad.
I've had a look at my golf app. And it says I'm going to get wet on Friday.
Is it?
So who does that suit though?
Neither.
Because they both like to play, don't they?
Yeah, possibly the Canadians. They've got forwards who can handle that. The Kiwis do not like the big confrontation. And all the teams that they played against Africa showed that. Even, I say it again, Japan were quite good in terms of the physical confrontation. So potentially bad weather might work in Canada's
last
favour.
20 minutes is going to be where it's won for me. I think we're going to have 60 minutes of a bit.
Attrition.
And then we're going to see who's got. Who's got.
It'll come down to those small details, won't it?
100%.
You know, it'll be the small stuff, won't be the big stuff. It'll be
What's the big stuff? What did you say?
Well, everyone talks about rugby, don't they? They talk about a big try or a big kick or a big whatever it was. It won't be that. It will be the simple
little
the
turnover.
penalties.
It'll be the breakdown of the scrum.
Penalty, the field
Speed
position, when you're playing the right area, 26 phases in the wrong part of the field, done 10 times over, come to the last 10 minutes. It's all the small bits, if you can manage that right.
And the referee, how you manage the referee. I think the referees have had quite a big impact on the game, and you might see some referees in our punditry team, commentating team this weekend.
In a good or a bad?
In a good way, because I think a lot of decisions.
Sound like that, then.
No, I think a lot of decisions.
There should have been a yellow card this weekend. There's no way you can have that many scrum penalties. And no yellow. Like you would have gone mad.
And as well, going back after you've kicked off again and you've seen a little knock on. They're looking for everything these days.
Oh man, TMO.
Check.
TMO, you've had your, if you haven't seen it real time or it's absolutely blatant,
If you haven't seen
get
it
on
within
with
3
it.
minutes.
If they've kicked off, if you're back up there about to kick off, and then the referees tell you how big they're telling you, you can tell the ones, the ones are portable.
If you're on the other end of that and you see a knock on and you lose the
we've
game,
got to be quicker though.
It's got to be quicker.
It's got to be quicker.
I agree. It does have to be quicker.
It's when your teamo comes in. I think the challenge, like for example, the biting incident, like the teamo was called upon and there was no decision at the end of that. So I think it's so hard for a new viewer, especially when a new viewer is watching the women's game. Like it's really
the game of rugby to
important.
non-rugby people is difficult to explain at the best of times.
Yeah.
Let alone when they start adding more complexities to it. And even someone who's played the game sometimes, you're looking at it going, oh, come on, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard enough when you know what's happening.
Yeah, come on.
Well, we're in for some great semis and a great final, and I think it's going to be amazing. It's a sellout at Twickenham, so it's going to be incredible.
Stick to Rugby is brought to you by Defender.
Now, Maggie, back to you, because this show is about you. You've won plenty of accolades in your career. 2010, you won the Sunday Times Woman of the Year award.
Yeah.
And then in 2011, I think you were the first woman to receive the Pat Marshall Award.
I was, yeah.
Rugby
Beating
Writers'
the
Club.
likes of Richie McCaw.
First woman in 50-year history to do it
that's
as well.
correct,
Do you look back on this and love it?
Do you know, to be honest, there's a part of me that goes, because in rugby, you do not want to stick your head above the parapet, because it's a team sport, isn't it? And so if in our England team back in the day, if I ever got a little bit too overly confident, I tell you, they'd put me back down to my place.
Kept her in her place.
It took
You
me
need
down.
it, though. You need to be humbled. You can't get too big in rugby, can you?
But like, that's the thing, like, so when you got all these accolades, like, you sort of felt, you're really proud of it, but you kind of felt a bit embarrassed because you're like, oh, it's a team sport, it's not all about me, even though I am the best player in the team. I mean, like, come on. But you do want to be like, it's about being humble. It's about being humble. And actually, I got to the stage where I was like, I have to really make sure that I am part of my team, I'm contributing. It's about us being the best team rather than being the best individual. So it was nice to get those accolades, but I appreciate it more now. Now I'm out of it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do, don't they? Like we mentioned before. But after the World Cup in 2014, you tried your hand at a different sport. Is that right? Shot put?
Thanks. Do we need to talk about that right now?
Because your brother did shot put as well, didn't he? Didn't he try it? Didn't Craig? Yeah,
Craig, well, yeah. I don't think the shot was big enough.
No, the squat ball.
Well, that's the little thing in this small little stadium.
but did you try it? Is that right?
Yeah. So back in the day, I was like, because I used to be a shot put discus thrower prior to getting into rugby, and I thought, once I'm retired, I'll just go back. And there was this famous lady called Valerie Adams, New Zealander. She was breaking records, and I was like, do you know what? I can make it. I can get to the Olympics. That. Yeah, she makes it look really easy. And anyway, I got all the right team around me. But the reality was, I was quite small, so everyone had big levers, big arms, and I could be their shot put, like I was that tiny. And but I had the power, but I was never going to progress. So I really did commit to it. Tried to get myself to the Olympic Games 2016.
Yeah.
In Rio. Didn't make it, but I'm glad I put myself out there. Gave it a good old go, but it was just not the sport for me.
Yeah, you didn't make the Olympics, but you made the Men's World Cup 2015 as the first
as a
female
broadcaster.
pundit.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Did you feel the pressure of being the first woman to do that?
At the
what was
time,
it like?
I didn't even think about it. Like, social media was big, but it wasn't really that big. And the first game I got, I think it was like France versus Romania or France. It was like one of those games where I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get the names completely wrong. And then I realised who I was working with. So I was working with Sean Fitzpatrick and I can't remember who else I was working with, but I remember thinking, not the pressure's on, but they're really chilled, so they're really relaxed. And I still remember during the game, me panicking, thinking about what names I'm going to say when it came to half time. And then Fritzy basically would be like, he doesn't really remember the name, so he'll just get his glasses, take all the time in the world, and be like, this player. And I was like, if he can just own that space, then I can do it. And it was a great introduction into it, and I really enjoyed it. World Cup obviously had its ups and its downs, especially for England anyway. But it was a good learning curve into the world of broadcasting, and I've tried to maintain my craft and develop it and become better at it.
There are pressures of social media and what people say about you. How did you deal with that? Was it tough? Because not everyone likes you. Like if you're on TV, not like even people, aren't in favour of David Attenborough. who's one of the legends. There'd be someone.
Don't be so. What that is.
There'll be what? There'll
That's a
be
bad
someone
example.
out
Bad
there.
example.
There'll be someone out there that doesn't like David Attenborough.
It's probably a limpet or something. He mispronounced the name of a limpet, and that's the only thing in the world that he does.
If you're on TV, there's always going to be someone
Everyone's
that doesn't like you.
haven't they?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do. I always think the most important thing, if someone doesn't like you, at least let them not like you being you.
That's what
Yeah.
Don't try and be something that you're not. Be you, and that person just got to get on with it.
Yeah.
But how does it? We're all on TV in some shape or form. How does everyone deal with that? Because sometimes you just can't get away from it. So the negative press.
I've been relatively fortunate. You get one or two, but it probably isn't the majority.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, but it's probably that bit around what you choose to read.
Yeah.
And also, I think you're really right. I think I'm nearly 40 now, but I'm much more comfortable in who I am and what I say. And I definitely tried to with an approach. If I'm going to say it on TV, I've got to be comfortable in my head to say it to you, to your face. And that's like my line. I'm happy to say that out loud. Anything that I'm not, I probably shouldn't be saying. Yeah. If I'm not comfortable to say that person, I think that's definitely helped me to be like, well, if they don't like me, they just don't like me, and that's okay. Like some people do, some people don't.
I got to give her a piece of advice right from the start, and they said, if you're going to say something on television about an individual, if you wouldn't say that comment to their mum, don't say it. And if you can back it up, that's absolutely fine. So that's always thought, right, am I going to, can I say it? Would I tell them, Mum, yes, and I can back it up? And then you can say it. You don't say things for the sake of just saying things.
Agreed.
No, totally.
For a headline or a...
It's frustrating, isn't it? Because whether we like it or not, the bad or the big noise gets the clicks, gets the attention. And then it's the louder you shout and the more stupid thing you can say or the most ludicrous thing you can say. And in the end, the subject goes off of what the original topic was about. And I struggle a little bit with it sometimes, but it doesn't overly bother me. You just got to say what you think.
Yeah.
And if that's what you think, that's what you think.
Yeah, it is.
And the people have got to deal with it.
It's interesting because in the women's game now, we're sort of been encouraged to embrace social media. Like all of our big superstars, Alona Ma, Ruby Tui, like social media is our thing. And then there's part of me goes, at the same time, I absolutely hate it because you put something out and it's like a grenade. Even if it's just general basic stuff, someone's going to get on the back of it and hate you and someone's going to like you. So you sort of learn to kind of go, like you said, I put stuff out and generally I won't check after that because I don't really want to. And I always think the ones that are negative have really bad spelling and really bad grammar. So I think, why am I having this reaction to these individuals? But then I have to always think, what I'm putting out is not about them or convincing them. It's about trying to inspire the next young girl who thinks I want to play rugby.
Well, that's the way that I would look at it from you. So if you make a comment about something, your list of things that you've done, you've earned the right to be able to say it, Maggie. I still might not agree with you.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's
but
totally okay.
You've earned the right to be able to say it. There are people saying things who have got no idea or understanding about anything. And they're entitled to their opinion 100%, but it means absolute jack shit.
This Women's World Cup, the furore of somebody wearing the pink hairband.
Man.
You know what I mean? And I go, well, why not? Because, and I look back there and I think, I used to wear silver boots. I used to wear gold boots. I dyed my hair peroxide blonde. Yeah. You know what I mean? Ash blonde, if anybody wants to know.
Still a bit in there now, mate. Honest grey.
Yeah, it's only because I was painting the ceiling on the weekend. And I look back, I thought, well, I did it. You know what I mean? We did things that, you know what I mean, to stand out, or, not even to stand out, because it's just who we were. And why can't you do it?
I think what the lovely thing about that is it's the fact that the support that's then generating.
Totally.
I think previously people would be like, oh no, I agree with her, but they don't say anything because they don't want to be another person. Now everybody's like, actually, Georgia Evans wasn't it?
Yeah,
Welsh
yeah.
bat rower who came out and was like, no, look, this is me. Yeah. Like, I'm really comfortable with me. I'm going to wear a bow. And if you've got a problem, that is a you problem. It's not a me problem.
Yeah.
And the support that people then wrap around to say, yeah, look, we back Georgia, and then there's loads of ribbons and there's bows and all the rest of it. And
lovely.
I think
Even Ryan Moore had a little one on his back of his chair.
did. And I think that for me is a massive change in the women's game. I think people would have sat and said, oh, I support her, but they wouldn't say that publicly. Now people are like, whoa, we've got your back, you're all right.
That comes on to our last question. You've been a pioneer in the women's game. And how hard has it been to navigate your path as well as inspiring others and being a role model.
Yeah, I guess what I've tried to do is you don't go out thinking about I want to be a role model. I just want to go and do my rugby and perform, or I want to go and be a broadcaster and hopefully deliver a good performance as well. And if that has an impact on those that are watching, that's great. I think now I'm very aware that someone's always watching you, and that's what I'm very much considerate about, the things that I say, the things that I do, and how I conduct myself when at a studio or in a stadium. I always think that one little girl comes up to you and says, "Can I have a picture of you?" The words that you say or how you present yourself to them could really have a lasting impact on who they are later on. So every now and again you think, oh, there's a weight of pressure on my shoulders. But what's great is so many of us now, so many role models that young girls and boys can go, oh, they're really, really important people, and look what they're doing. I want to hopefully emulate them. I just feel like I feel quite privileged to be in that position, but I also must treasure and respect that privilege that you have, because it will impact somebody else.
But that's the magic of what we've done, isn't it? The other stuff, the trophies and all that, is all great, but actually what does it mean? The power of being able to influence somebody, however small that might be, that is just magical.
Yeah.
And I think the influence she's had for the rest of us. So Mags was the first to retire.
Well, for me.
She went early, and what she's done in that broadcasting space, like she was always a very good rugby player, but that broadcasting space for us to come through. And because I think you've conducted yourself with such professionalism, you've grafted so hard, it's actually given more opportunity to women, because actually you've set such a good example for those to follow. And I don't think we can underestimate what you did going into that space, because no doubt it wasn't easy, but it has made it significantly easier for people like me to also like follow in your footsteps.
Oh, it's great. Like it's on. Like there's so many, like you, 𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗘, Nolly Waterman. There's so many of us out there now, and it's like you just feel really
Too many
proud.
now,
I know. I was like, oh, I need a job. It's taken all the
And there he is. There he is. And
He's back in the room. He's back in the room.
Joking.
Back in the room.
On social media now.
But it's great. It is positive, and it's known that now that there's a lot of us out there that are all doing great jobs, and we're all role models to everyone.
Mags, before we let you go, we've also got another game. We love a game here.
Love this game.
This one's an either or. It's quick fire.
Either or.
You got it?
Yeah.
Right. Home crowd roar or silencing the opposition crowd?
So when you say either or, do I just say
Pick one.
the first one?
Okay. So home crowd roar.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Match saving tackle or match winning try?
Match saving tackle.
Beach resort or city break?
I'm a city break kind of person, yeah.
Oh, nice. Underdog or favourite?
Underdog all the time, yeah. Rather.
Netflix binge or read a book?
If it's my book, which is Maggie Alphonsi winning the fight, you can get in
Love that.
every good bookshop. I would say reading a book, yeah.
Shouldn't that be on Netflix as well?
It should be on.
It should be on.
Who would play you?
It should be on
Who would play you?
Netflix.
I always say Whoopi Goldberg. What a ledge, eh? What a ledge. Oh man, should be in Sister Act. That was
your moment.
Yeah.
I've been to a restaurant called Whoopi Gold Burgers. Yeah,
Thanks for that, Shag.
Do they taste good?
it was lovely. It was lovely.
Your contribution today has been outstanding. Gym or pitch training?
Gym. Yeah, gym, yeah.
Contestant on SAS Who Dares Wins or Celebrity Come Dancing?
It's got to be, if I get a job on Celebrity Come Dancing, it's got to be Celebrity Come Dancing.
Hey,
Say that, eh?
is that where you're going?
Sort me out.
I would love to see you on SES Who Dares Wins.
Oh, do you know what?
She is a wimp.
Oh.
Right.
I'm not great. Yeah, do you know what? I'd
No.
rather do that, because listen, I am not great with the whole public toilet thing, you know, sitting in, because they do the sitting in the public toilet stuff, I couldn't do that, and I'm not great with cold anymore. I'm a diva.
Mate,
It's like things have
fucking
changed.
diva.
Things have changed.
We've talked for an hour and a half. I did not. I would not put
I'm a
diva.
diva.
I would
Wouldn't
not
like a
put
festival.
diva.
No, not a festival. Camping only.
Yeah, I would go to the posh hotel and then
This
come back
explains
for
the city break one.
It's got to be 5-star or nothing.
Play the guitar or play the piano?
I used to be a guitarist, so guitar.
Rugby with technology or without technology?
Ooh, without technology.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Mags, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Really good.
Go, you diva.